put this away.
Okay, you can put the modern art in your red math folder, and we're going to talk for a minute about finding the area and perimeter of these irregular shapes that you have to break apart into rectangles and triangles. Now, I will tell you that finding the area of a triangle is actually a 5th grade standard. You may want to wait up for a second because we're going to do it differently than that. Okay, so, but I think that it's something that we can easily learn. It should improve our NWEA scores, and it can help us be a level 4 on the post test, because on the post test you're going to have to be able to find the area of a triangle if you want to be able to be a level 4. Yes, Jamison?
Did anyone get a 4 on the test?
I cannot tell a lie. They're not graded yet, but that is my goal before the end of the week.
That's so
Okay, I know. Okay.
I never
So,
Wait, what happened?
shh. When we look at this shape, okay, I'm just waiting on you guys to be ready to listen. This is being recorded. Okay, you should have your body facing the front of the room so that you can see the screen. Okay, and it's just like if we have an irregular shape that's all rectangles, and what we do is we divide it into rectangles. But on this one, I'm not going to divide it into rectangles. I'm going to divide it into a rectangle and a triangle. Okay? So raise your hand if you can tell me where we should divide this shape. I'm dividing it into a rectangle and a triangle.
Right here.
Yep. So we're going to take our pencil. We're going to extend this line, and now we have one rectangle and one triangle. Okay? So, this rectangle is pretty easy. We can tell the dimensions of the rectangle. Raise your hand if you can tell me the dimensions of the rectangle. I'm just going to go ahead and outline the entire rectangle in green so we can all see. I don't want this line messing with you. Okay? Now, what are the dimensions of this rectangle? What are the dimensions of the rectangle? McKenna? 12 by 8. So what is the area of this part of this rectangle? What is the area of this rectangle? Savannah? 12 times 8. What's 12 times 8? 96. Okay, so this part of the rectangle is 96. What's my unit? Inches squared. Okay, and then let's look at who can remember the formula. No, that's just the rectangle. We're going to do the area of the whole thing. Who can tell me the formula to find the area of our triangle? Who remembers the area of a triangle formula? We talked about it yesterday on our spiral review. What's the area of a triangle? How do I find that? AJ, do you remember how to find the area of the triangle? Okay, well, let's make sure we're paying attention so we hear it. Clara, do you remember? Jenna?
1/2 of the base times the height.
1/2 the base times the height. Let's all just write that right here. Area of, we can abbreviate triangle like that, equals 1/2 the base times the height. So what is the base of this triangle? What is the base? I'm going to do the triangle in blue. I'm just going to make my triangle a different color so we can see the whole thing. Okay? What is the base of that triangle? Is it this, or this? What do we consider the base? We'll call this the bottom, and then these two the sides. What is the base? Is it one of the sides or the bottom, Landon? The bottom. Think about a pyramid. The base is the bottom. What is the length of the base of this triangle? What's the length of this base of this triangle? Riley? Not 4. Rowan? 7. 7 inches. How did you know, Rowan? From here to here is 12. So from here to here is 12. If this much of it is 5, that means this much of it is 7. Okay? So what is the height of the triangle? What does that mean? The height of the triangle. What's the height of the triangle, Lindy? Huh? How tall it is. So from here to here. Well, I don't know how much this is, but I know that this whole thing is 10 inches. If this whole thing is 10 inches, what is this height of this triangle? Will?
2 inches.
2 inches. It doesn't look like 2, does it?
Nope, not at all.
But it is 2. Because if this much is 10, this much of it's 8. That leaves you with 2. So our formula for finding the area of this is 1/2 of the base times the height. Okay? So you can technically cut either number in half. Or you can do base times height and then cut it in half. What's the base times the height? 7 times 2, which is 14. And then half of that is 7. Okay, so base times height is 7 times 2, or 14. And then half of that equals 7. So the area of this part is what? 7 what?
Inches.
7 what?
Inches squared.
7 inches squared. So what is the total area? Here we had 96 inches squared. Here we have 7 inches squared. What's the whole area? Yep.
103.
96 plus 7, or 103 inches squared. Okay, now what is the perimeter? Okay, and we're just going to fill this in because we cannot assume that these two are the same length, so I'm just going to tell you that I should have filled that in. I clearly made this worksheet myself. Okay, so what is the perimeter? We just need to know this line. Remember, when we're talking perimeter, we're not talking about any of these inside numbers, only along the outside. So what's the perimeter of this shape? Guys, it's pretty easy, but you're not following along. What's the perimeter? You're not following along. You don't have everything that I had. You didn't divide it? Everyone should be adding it. What's the perimeter? Haley, what'd you get?
45 inches.
Okay, 12 plus 8 is 20, plus 6 is 26, plus 6 more is 32, plus 5 is 37, plus 8 is 45. Don't forget this 8 to make it 45. And what is your unit?
Inches.
Inches. Is that what you said, Haley? 45? Good job. Okay, so now let's look at this one. Where will I divide this one so that I have a rectangle and a triangle? Will.
The line next to the 9.
Yep, just like this. Now I have a rectangle and a triangle. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trace my entire rectangle in blue. Okay, what are the dimensions of my rectangle? What are the dimensions of the rectangle? Cordelia, what are the dimensions of the rectangle? 7 and 15. So what is my area? You're going to have to do 15 times 7. Maybe you need to write that out to the side. What are you getting? What's 15 times 7? Abby?
105 inches.
Okay, so I'm not going to write it on the inside this time. I'm going to write 105 squared centimeters. Okay, and now, what about this triangle? I'm going to do my triangle in green. I'm going to do my triangle in green. Okay, what is the base of the triangle? Is it the bottom or one of these sides? It's the bottom. It's always the bottom. It's not the biggest number or the smallest number. It's always the one on the bottom. So what's the length of the base of this triangle? What's the length of the base of the triangle, Ethan? 6 centimeters. Okay, this whole thing from here to here is 15. This much of it is 9, so the rest of it has to be 6 to get your 15 centimeters. Okay? Now, what is the height? The tallest point. Look, here's the height. Right here. Okay? So if this whole part is 15, what is the height of the triangle? What's the height?
8.
Gary? 8 centimeters. So my formula, area equals 1/2 the base times the height. What's half the base? AJ, what's half the base? 3 times the height, which is what? What's the height, AJ? 8. So what is 1/2 the base times the height equals what? Landon? 24. What's your unit? Centimeters squared. Add them together. What's your area of that shape? Carter? 129. What's your unit? Centimeters squared. Okay, find the perimeter. Find the perimeter. You already have the perimeter? Yep. Who knows the perimeter of the whole shape? Remember, we're not paying any attention to this number or this number. Just the outside. Every hand should be up. We're just adding a few numbers. Dane, what'd you get?
56.
Okay, we have 15 plus 7, which is 22, plus 9, which is 31, plus 8, which is 39, plus 10, which is 49, plus 7, which is 56, and what's your unit?
Centimeters.
Centimeters. Okay, there's one more here on the bottom. Okay, now, clearly, I did not make this line straight. This should actually be this, okay? It should actually go, it's just showing the height of the whole shape. Okay, see if you can solve that one on your own. Divide it, find the area of both parts, try to find the perimeter. I'll come check it.